Hey guys, Brianna here, ready to hit chapter 8. The hustle is sold separately. Live big, love bigger. So, I feel like this was a very, in some ways, difficult, but yet some of those things that we need to hear kind of chapter. I love that Catherine breaks into all of this and she really dives into her own personal feeling, her struggle with her scoliosis, and how that has shaped not only really her teen years, going through and wearing that back brace for 5.5 years. And everybody knows how tough high school is. And I can't imagine what that must have felt like. And I know we all have our struggles with how we look and what we think we should look like, and really this keeping up with these appearances and these Instagram worthy posts, and making sure that we angle things just so, and we have this perception that we look good. And starting to be video and do all of these things, I've kind of gotten to the point to where my hair doesn't have to be fixed, my makeup doesn't have to be perfect, because at the end of the day, like, this is who I am. I only put makeup on occasion. Every now and then I feel like doing a little more often. It's kind of like my hair, hit or miss. And it's not a bad thing if you're somebody who wants to go out of the house with a completely naked face and you don't, your hair's up in a messy bun. And it's not a bad thing if you're somebody who wants to go out in a full face of makeup and your hair is always done and your outfit looks great. But what I will tell you is, I hope that you're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for anybody else. You have to be happy with who you are and not put on this persona or this this feeling that you have to be somebody because everybody else expects it. And when I talk about that, I talk about your physical appearance. And Catherine really starts to talk about this, and in a way, being comfortable in the skin that you're in and accepting your body. But at the same time, the importance is, and I think that, I don't know, this realization after having kids is making it, maybe it's just getting older, I don't know, it's probably a combination of both, but wanting to make healthier lifestyle changes. I know I am never going to be a size 2. Dad blessed me with his linebacker shoulders. It's just not going to happen, and I've come to that exception. But do I want to be the healthiest version of myself that I can for my husband and my kids? You bet. And I think that's what she hits on in this book. The driving force of that is God. We shouldn't be putting all of these other things when we treat our body as a temple, when we want to feel good about how our self-image is. At the end of the day, we have to remember, are we doing things that are going to make God proud? And so the more I think about it and the more I challenge myself, because I'm going to be real vulnerable here for a minute, exercise at this point in my life is, I'm not self-motivated. I'm not somebody who can just say, yes, I'm going to go do this by myself and I'm going to get up and hit it for the day. That's just not my personality. I'm definitely an accountability person. I need somebody, Catherine says after her surgery, her husband would kind of give her that shove she needed at 5:25 in the morning to get up and get going. And that's what I need. I need that girlfriend that's going to go do those 5 a.m. walks with me, that's going to say, hey, let's go to a cycle class. I'm not going to run. Don't ask me to run. If you guys ever get me out there running, I'm going to say hell's frozen over, because that's just not something that I do. But there are all these other things I'm happy to do and that I enjoy doing. And I want to get back into that. And, it's just little things of being better for our families. And in turn, so we have more time with them. And I think that Catherine really puts on these great examples of these difficult things that she's gone through in her life. I mean, good gosh, she's not only had scoliosis, and had the back surgery, she's had a shattered kneecap. Obviously, her birth, her emergency C-section with Luke. Again, I can relate to that section in a lot of ways, having an emergency C-section myself. And for a little while after that, I was completely just, I've got this big 12-inch scar across my belly. Well, not quite that big, but I mean, it's just this jaggedy, gross, and it's taken me a long time to realize, if I didn't have that scar, my little Lorelei wouldn't be here. And so, it's not the prettiest, and I do rock the mom pooch, but at the end of the day, that's what got me Lorelei. And so I'm going to learn to love it and to embrace it. But we've all gone through these kind of tough things that we've had to, whether it's a surgery, or maybe it's a cancer scare, maybe it is cancer. Different things within our body that we've been challenged with. And they're things that are out of our control. And my biggest takeaway with it was, with all of these other things, there are so many other aspects that I can control and that I should be making better choices with. Because when these other inopportune things pop up, like these surgeries, or you get diagnosed with something, you want to be armed and prepared to try to manage it the best way that you can. And I think that really comes with, one, the mental mindset and loving yourself, and that has to be right, as well as your physical health. And so getting those two things together really should, at the heart of it, be centered around God. And she talks about the music that she would put on, the prayers that she would say, and especially after that back surgery, to really push herself through those those painful times, those painful moments. And I think that's something that is so easy to forget when maybe it's waking up and it's getting ready for the day. Maybe you're somebody who dreads, with your job, you've got to wear nicer clothes. Or like I said, maybe you're somebody who doesn't always enjoy the get ready. And it's just a prayer to ask to feel good in your skin, and to own who you are, and to be out there and conquer the day. And for those of us that have girls, or that we, daughters, or, maybe it's nieces or granddaughters in our family, they look up to us with those things, and they look to those things that we're saying, and their little ears are always open, and especially the older they get. And so that's one thing, if we can be mindful, and I'm totally guilty of this, but watching some of the things I say, so I don't hinder my own girls and their body image and what they think they should look like. Because you look at your girls and you know how beautiful they are. And so when they come and they give you those hugs, or they tell you how much they love you for you, not for what you look like, not for how well you're put together, those things. But you have to remember that you want to be around for all of it. You want to do the best that you can to take care of yourself. And so I want to read some of these reflection questions that we've got. And again, these are going to be, I feel we've had a lot of vulnerable questions throughout this book, but there are a couple, if you feel comfortable enough to share with the group, I think that there are things that we can all gain from hearing from each other. And so this first one, it's worth asking, do you like your reflection in the mirror, both physically and emotionally? And I'm going to go first. It depends on the day. And for me, I feel like it's a work in progress. And I think the older that I get, and there are some things that I used to maybe obsess or really focus on, that now they aren't a priority. but I feel like the priority has shifted to how can I start being a healthier version of myself? How can I be happy with being healthy, not necessarily thin or a certain number on the scale? Do you make your physical self a priority on a regular basis? If not, what support do you need to make it happen? And again, accountability is key for me. I thrive on having somebody I can say, hey, let's go do this in the morning, or let's go hit this class, or let's find time to do this. That's just, I don't know. Plus, I just find it goes quicker. It's just more enjoyable for me. 3, the gift of time changes as we move from different life seasons. What does your time look like in regards to taking care of your physical self? How can you make the most of it right now? Well, again, I've kind of already touched on that. I've had 4 kids, and being in my 30s, and you kind of realize you're not necessarily going the other way, but I'm not in my 20s anymore, and maybe some of the stuff I could get away with. I feel like prioritizing my health is definitely a necessity, and so that's what I'm going to strive to do. And this is the one, again, I would really love to know what everybody thinks about this passage. In Corinthians 6:19 through 20, Scripture tells us, "For you have been purchased at a price. Therefore glorify God in your body." How do you interpret that passage? And I think that's exactly it. Our bodies are temples, and we have been blessed not only with life on this earth, but also with these bodies. And I think part of that is, how do we take care of ourselves for God? How do we glorify Him in what we do? Again, easier said than done. I completely get that. But I think that my mind, I've heard this scripture over and over again throughout my life, but I think it just resonates. It lands differently now, and really wanting to do better. And then, was there ever a time in your life where you felt ashamed of your appearance? How did you combat that feeling? Well, good gosh, ask me what day of the week. I went shopping yesterday, and I was so frustrated in this boutique because I felt like everything was meant for a 16-year-old, just as far as size-wise. And it was a small thing, but it was just something I had to get over. And I ended up finding something that I absolutely loved. And so, yes, while I can't rock every single thing and the style in that boutique, there were still things that I could wear and that I loved and that I found. And so I have to not beat myself up over the no's that got left in the dressing room, and really focus on the yeses and what made me feel good and what made me happy. So again, if you guys are able and willing to share, I would love to know your thoughts on this chapter and these reflection questions, especially on number 4 with the passage. I would love for you to drop a comment on your interpretation. So I hope you guys are all having a great week, and I will talk to you on Friday. Bye, guys.